Assalamu alaikum students. Today we have to read about the Ohm's law. You might have read it in your previous class as a 10th class. Now we have it's also syllabus in your 12th class. So according to this very law, according to Ohm's law, the current I flowing through a conductor is directly proportional. If we are having a conductor here and through this very conductor, once we apply a potential difference, which is positive, it's negative, so we apply a potential difference. This is the direction of current, this is the movement of electron. So because of this very potential difference, there will be current I. According to this law, the current I flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference V across the ends of conductor, provided the physical conditions like temperature, pressure does not change. So according to this law, I, the current, is directly proportional to V, or you will say V directly proportional to I. So you will say, removing proportionality, you are going to use a constant. You will use the constant R, where R is the constant of proportionality and it gives the resistance. Or we can say V by I equals to R, where R is the constant of proportionality, constant of proportionality, which gives resistance of given conductor. So more will be the voltage, more will be current, lesser will be voltage, lesser will be current, but the ratio of V by I is always constant. So whatever will be the V, whatever will be the I, accordingly, R does not change. Whatever R is of this very conductor, if we will take, now this is a very important point, most of the students are not aware of it. This is the conductor, and for this very conductor, whatever it is having length, whatever it is having fixed area of cross section, it is having a fixed R. It is R does not going to change with V and I. Whatever will be V, whatever will be I, R is always and always constant. And here we have in the statement, there is the physical condition like temperature should remain constant, pressure should remain constant. Why temperature should remain constant? Because if there is increase in the temperature, then because of increase in the temperatures, there will be more and more collisions of the electrons with the constituents of the material. Once it is having this electrons having more and more collisions with the constituents of the material, once it's having collisions at that very time, then there will be decrease in the current, there will be more and more resistance. But that is only and only possible once the temperature increases. That is why this law is valid once the temperature and pressure does not change, they remain constant, because R changes with temperature, R changes with that very pressure. So V, where R is called as constant, proportionally gives the resistance of the conductor. So if we have to define this very resistance, how will define? It is defined as the ratio. Is the ratio between the potential difference applied across the ends of conductor to the current flowing through it. Whatsoever will be the potential difference and whatsoever will be the current through it, that will give us the resistance of what? Resistance of that very conductor. And it is unit, the unit of resistance. Resistance is ohm. Oblique, you can put like this. So R equals to V by I equals to V, its unit is volt, and this is ampere. So it is volt per ampere, volt per ampere. So R equals to volt per ampere, that's called as what? Ohm. This is the symbol for ohm. So resistance is defined as the ratio of potential difference to current flowing through it. The SI unit of resistance is ohm, and it is equal to volt per ampere. Or you can further break the voltage, you can further break the ampere, and you can calculate the many more units. Now, when the resistance is said to be, and in another definition, we can say resistance is actually the opposition offered to the flow of charge, because how much this very conductor shows the opposition to the flow of charge, that gives it the resistance. and it's also mathematically it is defined as the ratio of potential difference to the current, but generally it is defined as a position offered to the flow of charge by a material. That's the distance. So now there will be question how to find 1 ohm. 1 ohm will be once we will be having 1 volt by 1 ampere. So resistance of a, what I mean to say, conductor is said to be 1 ohm if a potential difference of 1 volt is applied so that current through it is 1 ampere. If a potential difference of 1 volt is applied so that current through it is 1 ampere. This is how we are going to define 1 ohm. Now taking towards the graphs, if we'll draw a graph between V and I, as it is there a linear power to V, linear power to I, so it will be a straight line like this possible. This is the graph for what? Ohm's law. The graph for Ohm's law is a straight line passing through the origin. But if we are having many materials, material A, for example, we are having like this, material B, we are having here like this, material C, different metals, or what I mean, different types of conductors made of different materials, A, B, and C. This is also obeying Ohm's law, this is also obeying Ohm's law, this is also obeying, all the three are obeying Ohm's law. But among the three, which among them is having more resistance, or which among them is having the least resistance? I will make you understand like this. On this very voltage, let it me take 1 volt or something else. On 1 volt, it is having this very much current. You will say small amount of current. On this very same voltage, it is having this very much current. On this very same voltage, it is having this very much current. So among the three, so I will say if Vi for a conductor, this is having the more slope. Slope means how much angle it forms with this very axis. It forms a small angle, it forms a bigger angle, and it forms the biggest angle among the three. So this very forms a more angle. Once more angle means more resistance. So V over I gives us the R, and it gives us what? It gives us simply the resistance. So V by I, if V by I increases, then R also increases. So for these very, among A, B, and C, among A, B, and C, most resistance. So the resistance of, I will say, RC is greater than RA is greater than RB. So this is having the least resistance as it's having the more and more current, and this is having the most resistance. So more slope here means more resistance. This is having the more slope. Now if we will have another graph like this, I'll place it here. Now it will be this one. I will again name the three. Now I'll name the sequence wise A, B, C. Now this is I and this is V. These are three different materials. Now it is I and V, IV graph. Here, once again I will make one. In at this very voltage is having this very much current, very small amount, this is having a large amount, and this is having the maximum of the current. So among three, so in IV graph, more slope is for A, and more slope means what? More slope means more conductance. Here in VI graph, more slope means more resistance. This is having the more slope, it's having the more resistance. Here in this very, this is having the more slope, here it's having more and more conductance. So IV graph, for the material, this is having the smallest amount of resistance, it's having maximum conductance. So among them we will be having RC is greater than RB is greater than RA. So this is having what? This is having the RC, just having the maximum resistance among the three, just having the least resistance. So this is all for today. Tomorrow will be another lecture regarding this. Till then, Allah Hafiz.